For over 25 years, HPG Homes have been helping South Australians build and own their dream home. Whether it's a house and land package, custom build or development, our HPG fixed price guarantee ensures no nasty surprises or price changes along the way. We're committed to quality, affordability and creating a way of life for you and your family. Fixed price, turnkey. It's gotta be HPG. HPG Homes.
We all play the same game. The battlefield may look different, but between those painted lines, the feeling each of us get alongside our tribe. Let the moment sink in, then let it rip. The runs out wide, last-ditch efforts and clean sheets. The tap-in or rocket to the top bins, the eruption of the 12th player that sends shivers down your spine. It's in the way we celebrate, because football is everyone's game. Play football.
On the back of the announcement at the celebration of football, NPLSA will be investing $50,000 into a coach education fund. $35,000 will be invested into community coach education, which will see 19 courses at club venues and over 500 community coaches. Working closely with clubs to develop and upskill coaches will strengthen the grassroots community, which will obviously benefit the football community as a whole.
It can only be beneficial because most of the clubs, most of the coaches start off just as parents coaching their kids' teams, and they're learning on the job as much as the kids. So this would be perfect because not only would kids be getting coached, the coaches will be getting coached.
As a club, we struggle to attract good coaches, and having this sort of funding coming our way will actually allow us to sort of offer more boys and girls out there to actually coach at the club. Everything comes at a cost these days, and this award presented to our club here again will allow our average parents, supporters, players to the opportunity to come out and actually to take on coaching and to be part of it. They've got a passion about this sport and a passion about this club. They'll be able to come here now, get trained up and actually take on the team and just move forward with us here.
The remaining $15,000 will be invested into a joint initiative with NPLSA, Adelaide United and PSV, where selected coaches and technical directors from South Australia will be given the professional development opportunity to go to PSV in October 2025.
Once you get the bug for the coaching, you love it, and you love seeing the kids improve, especially the connection to your club. You want to see the kids come through at your club, and it's just a win-win for everyone.
Whether it's a house and land package, custom build or development, our HPG fixed price guarantee ensures no nasty surprises or price changes along the way. Fixed price, turnkey. It's gotta be HPG.
Puts in the penalty and wins the grand final for Campbelltown City.
Welcome to Regency Park here for the Week 2 of the NPLSA Final Series with the home team Croydon FC against Adelaide City, who had the week off for finishing second. Joining me in the commentary studio is Mark Talbot. And we've got a big game ahead of us here at Regency Park. Of course, both these teams only finished 1 point away from each other. But last week out, Croydon FC beat Bacalla in their elimination final to set up this two-legged playoff between the second place Adelaide City team. As you see in those lineups. See, Croydon FC's was last week against Bacalla in the elimination final, while for Adelaide City FC it was in their round 22 fixture against Adelaide Croatia Raiders. We're underway here in this first leg semi-final of the two-legged playoff in the RA NPLSA. First cross in anger there from Croydon and young Oscar Slattery. And now Martinello trying to get on the score sheet early on, as he did in the previous two fixtures, both against Bacalla and both in the opening minutes of those games, both from corners as well. So if we do see Croydon pick one of those set pieces up early on in the game, I'm sure it's going to be him on the end of it. So Mark, we're ready for this first semi-final of the RA NPLSA in 2025. What are you expecting of tonight's game and this afternoon's game? Sorry, Mark.
I was going to say I'm a little bit eager that it's tonight, but no, we are early afternoon, and it should be a really good game, actually. I watched Croydon last week, and they were fantastic against Bacalla. Adelaide City obviously had the week off, but they've been outstanding all year. So I think it's going to be quite a tight affair. Both teams willing to play football and wanting to play football, so I'm really excited, and I think this is going to be a really good two-legged affair over this week and next week.
That is for sure. And, of course, these teams, as you said, very close to each other in the league, only finishing 1 point away from each other. So, and that obviously led to Adelaide City getting a week off rest, while for Croydon, they played their favourite opponent this year, Bacalla, for the fourth time in the season. And, of course, as they did on 3 other occasions, they beat them, and they went through to this next round.
Really looking forward to seeing some of these matchups today in a 1v1 capacity with the likes of Luke Klimek, who's had an absolutely outstanding year at right back. He's going to come up against Laurie Latanzio, who's had a great year. You've got the likes of Buko up against Hisamoto in the middle of the park. And the other one for me that is really enticing is the likes of Bolmapur up against Dorba. We know Dorba's been around a long time. He knows the game, and he likes to play on the edge, so it'll be fantastic.
He's young Oscar Slattery. Has had a great season in first-team football this year, following on from last year where his debut campaign got him into the side. And after this year, he's leading the assists for Croydon Kings as well. 5 assists this season from left wing for young Slattery. Of course, that accompanies his 3 goals as well this season. And that front line for Croydon has really been the danger this season, Mark. It's just goals coming from everywhere across the line.
There certainly has been. I mean, you've got Luca Trimboli, who scored, I think, 10 or so goals this year. I think he added to that tally last week. Passy John's come up with good big goals at big times. Slattery's assists and goals, but they've had them from everywhere. Martinello's chipped in with a few as well, which has been fantastic. So they've got the likes of Andre Carl able to sit on the bench, not today, but during the year he's been on the bench. So when you can bench a player like that, you've got to have something special. Here's
a motor with this early free kick. He goes for goal, and it was too close to the goalkeeper there in John Hall. Of course, another former Croydon player. There's a few in this fixture that have played across both sides of this game, but John Hall's probably one of the main ones. Here's John now on the right side, floating a ball back post, and again test the former Bologna man, and it plays it into Adelaide City's very own in Nicholas Bucco. But the other games today, of course, as well. The other semi-final we played later tonight, Metro Stars and Adelaide United Youth Team, while across the State League 1 and 2, the other fixtures of those leagues as well as playing, with Sturt Lions and Salisbury, I think, playing about half an hour after this game kicks off at 3 o'clock. And then further to that, I think it's Fulham and West Adelaide are playing as well in their other leg in that one. But of course, the lineups, if you probably saw them across the board before we started on air, unchanged for both since last week. Just a couple of changes on the bench with for Croydon FC. Andre Carl is missing from the squad altogether today, while they've swapped their reserve keeper Matthew Voigt in for Tumbi Kalua. And for Adelaide City, they've obviously made one change to their bench as well, and that's young Oliver Weston coming in for Kafuta, the under-18s player who made his debut last week. And Oliver Weston, I think, I have to check if he was coming back from an injury, but he was the starting left-back for most of this season, Mark, and in the last 7 games, the form of Noah Smith has led him to not keep that spot.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. When you've got players that are in form, and you've got players like Noah Smith, who's been around a lot. He's been at A-League level. He's been around a long time. You've got to get him in the side somehow, especially when you take him on. And his form's been outstanding. Assists and goals. I saw one of his goals the other week was an absolute blinder.
He's only played 7 games for them this season, Mark. 3 goals, 3 assists from left back. It's unbelievable. And he's obviously, as you said, 3 goals in his last 4 games. Honestly, this is the first time I've seen him live for Adelaide City this season. But he must just get up that flank like there's no tomorrow, because to get that many contributions in a team that doesn't score a hell of a lot. I mean, they only scored 44 goals this season, and that's in all competitions as well. And to have about 6 of them to come from your left back, it seems like, again, another team that's got goals coming across the whole park.
Well, that's the thing Croydon do, but with City, they've certainly got them across the park. But the fascinating thing with City, the way they play, is that the balance for Noah Smith to be able to get forward as much as he likes allows, with that allowance, means that Gutierrez on the other side, he tucks in a lot more. So it allows them to effectively go from a 4 at the back to a 3 at the back when they've got the ball. Because Gutierrez is probably a little bit more defensively inclined than what he is attacking-wise. So certainly does allow them to have a good balance when they can swing that way and Noah Smith gets further forward. It's sort of the same with Croydon. Klimek is a little bit more, he'll sit a little bit more than what Polly would, and Polly's the one that likes to get forward and provide the ammunition for those strikers. Speaking
of James Polly as well, today celebrating his 150th game. Big milestone for him this season, and he's really taken it great at Croydon Kings since making his transfer across in the mid-season. Former captain of Adelaide Olympic last year as they were relegated, and he's come across this year. Played in all 25 games for them at left fullback, and he's really had a great year to remember. He's on the ball now, and he's really made that left back spot his own, and he's really settled into life here at Bologna. Here's a Moto and Slattery in that corner flag now, trying to work away to a cross maybe. At the moment, just playing keep ball off Adelaide City in this corner. Slattery goes 1v1. And they're just patient with their build-up. Play it back to young Ned Stiles. Another interesting one in their lineup tonight. Mark, didn't know too much about him coming into this season. I think he'd played at Cumberland before this. As we see, that ball almost find its way to Bruce Kamau. But yeah, young Stiles, he only came into the team in the last 5 games. He was injured until round 19, and he started the last 4 in a row now. So he's obviously got the respect of his coach, and he's a very needed player, obviously, in that midfield to keep that role, being injured for most of the season.
Yeah, he was they really relied upon him, actually, when he came into the side. I've spoken to George a number of times about the squad throughout the year, because I've covered a few of their games, and with him injured, they had to sort of make do with what they could and sort of play around. As soon as he was fit and free from injury, he's come straight in, and you wouldn't know that he's missed a lot of games this year. He's been fantastic. He was excellent last week. He's really he's a typical number 8. He just box to box, likes to get stuck in, not afraid of putting in a tackle when needed, but he can also play. So really good addition at this time of the season for Croydon to be able to get him fit.
And this is the first time I've watched Croydon as well live this season, and just building up in the formations, it looks like we are going to see two versions of a 4-4-2 from both teams, with the two staying up front in Hisamoto and Trimboli for Croydon, and for Adelaide City it looks like it might be Dorber and Kamau, but Dorber is getting quite deep at the start of this game. Here's Trimboli to Styles, now out to Martinello and Klimek. Bucco recovers that though in the deep lying midfield role. He's partnered there today, of course, by one of his favourite compatriots in Paddy Karacha, our favourite son here at Croydon as well. Was part of their championship success in 2017. And interesting stat about Paddy Karacha as well. He's only lost one of these fixtures between these sides, being on either side of the fixture in the last 3 years. So if he's on your side, there's an early strike on goal from Klimek. The left-footed strike just past the far post, but yeah, for Karachi, he's only lost one of these games in the last 3 years, being on Croydon's side and Adelaide City's side. So if he is on your team to begin the day, you know you've got a good chance of winning.
Hey, I think you've got a good chance of winning regardless if he's on your team, that's for sure. But great effort there from Klimek, able to get forward, find himself in the box. He just has this tendency to drift in and take up some really good positions. But Croydon, by far the team that settled quickest and really putting Adelaide City under pressure.
Here's John now linking up with Styles after that good cutback from Klimek. Here's Styles with a strike. Saved well by Hall, and it will go out for the first corner of the proceedings. I mean, now how dangerous Croydon can be from these, Mark. You've been here the last couple of weeks where they've picked up some early goals from these, and we're about 10 minutes in, and maybe it's a bit late for Martinello to score. He usually does it in the first 2 minutes at some occasions, but if anyone is a good defender, you'd be marking him for sure right now. Hisamoto goes far post. It was looking for Martinello, but he doesn't meet that header, and it was Adelaide City head who knocks it out for a throw-in on the far side.
That's why Slattery was happy to let that one go out for a corner. He could have quite easily kept that in, but with their form on corners at the moment, they're happy to take them, that's for sure, when you've got Martinello, who has scored the last 2 weeks from corners, and Klimek scored from a set piece last week as well. So they're quite happy to allow for those set pieces.
Here's Klimek now on the far side, linking up with Styles as he has early on here. It's a good deep ball, and Hall is happy to see that go over his net. Very deep build-up here from Adelaide City. You can see how deep Nicholas Bucco even trying to take this goal kick at the moment, it seems, or maybe even receive it short. So it's obviously something planned from Vas Parhas. Of course, a coach in his first senior role as a head coach at Adelaide City this year. And he's obviously been quite successful, finishing second in your first year as a head coach. You can only do one better, and that's John Fusco at Sturt Lions, winning the league altogether. But it's a great enter into the first coaching reign of your career, and to do it in the NPL as well is no mean feat.
Yeah, he's had a great year. Remember when he was at, I think he was a head coach at West Adelaide as well previously. And didn't have as much joy, but this year it's been fantastic.
And that ball just about stays in by that far fence, protecting balls from that main road. But my mistake, I think he did coach at West Adelaide, but first head coaching role in a while at least for him coming to Adelaide City. He was in Adelaide United youth team system as a coach for the recent few seasons, but he's seen a reinvigoration of his coaching career now at Adelaide City, and it's of course a club very close to home. Corner for Adelaide City now. After that deflected cross ended up behind the goals. It'll be Nick Bucco on the end of this one. Ball in and just goes past the near post.
Yeah, Styles just getting there in front of Margouche as Bucco's whipped that one in at the near post, and we know what Bucco can do from set pieces, so
Karacha picks that one up. Trimboli battling out with him. Still does well. Paddy Karacha out of the danger but can't find the pass. And plays all the way back to Bruce Kamau. Bucco and Laurie Latanzio linking up now with Kamau still in that deep role. That's maybe why you see Noah Smith reaching those heights in the second half, because of that defensive work rate by his winger there. Ex-A-League player, of course, Bruce Kamau. Played at a couple of clubs in the A-League, but he's back here this season, and he's played a lot of football, which is something you'd like to see from him. Maybe not got the goals and the assists to go with it, but to see him playing week in, week out is something I'm sure he's very happy with. That's a great switch of play, though, from Noah Smith all the way out to his compatriot fullback in Juan Gutierrez. And he picks out Matthew Dorber. Good football here from Adelaide City. Back with Dorber. He tries a switch of his own, but instead finds the back of Daniel Bressan's head. Got numbers on the left here now. Styles. Slattery. Big switch of play now out to Klimek, the captain here. John holds that up well. Finds it back to his captain, but that pass is picked off by young Lewis Kylo. Another big surprise here this season. Moving from that state system back to an NPL club in Adelaide City, and the towering young defender there, Kylo's had a great season to remember. That's a ball into the box. Slattery almost beats Hall to the ball, but it's a good pick up there from the goalkeeper after an early bit of scares there, Mark.
Yeah, he wasn't overly convincing on that take. I don't think he realised Slattery was going to be pressing him so much, and fortunately it fell his way in the end, but...
Good through ball from Laurie Latanzio. He's onside as well. He's got around the goalkeeper, has the strike instead. And Laurie Latanzio finds the back of the net and opens proceedings here at Regency Park. An excellent through ball from Daniel Bressan, and the leading marksman this season for Adelaide City, Laurie Latanzio, finishes off his 12th goal of the season, Mark. Yeah,
and what a season finish that was. Put through, flag stays down, great ball through, and he's 1v1 against Margush, and unfortunately for Margush, he can't really do much with a finish like that, and that's what you expect from a player of Laurie Latanzio's quality. You'd expect him to finish those, and like I said, season finished there, just waited, picked his spot and finished.
A career best season tally for Laurie Latanzio this season, 12 for the season in all competitions. Of course, scored his 11 in the league, and this is his first post-season goal at the moment. He is, at the moment, the top scorer for Adelaide City this season, and he's had a very successful year at the club.
And to be honest, I feel it was probably against the run of play. I think Croydon's the team that settled and played probably the better football to start with.
Just one through ball picked out by Daniel Bressan. He's on the ball again here. Very cultured player in the midfield. And it seemed like it just opened up there for a second, and it's another good win back by Kamau. Bressan goes for the spectacular instead, and Kamau again using his body well here to get out of danger. Him and Bressan almost linking up, but finally outnumbered by Croydon. That ball is spinning all the way to Margush, but we picked up again by Adelaide City. Bucco tries it spectacular with his left foot this time, and you can see why maybe he doesn't score too many on his left, Mark, after that attempt.
I was just having a quick look at the replays there. On the offside, it was very, very tight. Don't have the lines of VAR, so we can't say much more.
But a quick forward like Laurie Latanzio, you just can't keep him out of your sights for too long, otherwise he'll nip in behind you just like that, and it's almost game over. But of course, this is a two-leg fixture. They try to find him again here, and that header back has tested all the athletic ability there of Daniel Margush, one of the best goalkeepers this season, Mark. We have talked about this, you and I, and a few around the league. He's come back and he's really made a name for himself here. Probably maybe even looks on the radar of maybe another A-League contract, but so far for Croydon, they're happy that he's in their colours, and he's happy to obviously be here and show his talent off to the rest of the state.
Yeah, I said the other week that Croydon will be very happy that he stays. I said personally I'd love him to stay and play in the NPL because he's been outstanding this year. But from a personal note, I know he was quite upset when...
So you see another chip through ball here to Laurie Latanzio to double his tally on the day. It's deflected now. It's Brisson. And another good save from Margouche. Chipped far post. Brisson was looking again for Laurie Latanzio, but at that time it was Noah Smith who chipped the through ball through him. And this defence for Croydon has got to look out because they're leaving a man unmarked, and it's the top scorer of Adelaide City as well, level people.
Yeah, I'm not sure they're leaving him unmarked. They're just playing such a high line that it's allowing them to play that ball over the top, and with Latanzio's speed, you can't allow him that space to run onto it, and that's what's catching him out at the moment. But Margouche stepping up there with another big save, and as I was saying, he's been fantastic this year, and I know he was upset when there was no number one at Adelaide United, and they didn't offer him anything. But like I said, Croydon are very happy that they didn't, and he's, like I said, I think he's been by far one of the best keepers in the league this year.
Here's Slattery trying to take on his defender. Hisamoto nips into the box, and I think Polly was offside if you got the touch there, so Hisamoto's had to chase his own pass. Now Polly puts a delivery in. Beat into it by Luca Trimboli as well, who nips it at the was waiting for it, and Trimboli just pounced upon it.
That's Trimboli of old, that one right there. That just reminded me of his dad. Trimboli getting to that near post, across his defender, getting that touch, and John Hall left in no man's land on that one. But just such clever play from Croydon, and in particular, I think it was Slattery that could have gone through, could have gone through for the ball. He would have been offside, but he's held his run. He's gone, no, I'm in an offside position. I'll let's stay out of it. Allowed Hisamoto to pick it back up, and they managed to deliver a great little ball through. And they've made it one apiece. And like I said, what a game this is going to turn out to be. As I just see Bucco getting in trouble there with the referee. I'm not quite sure what for, but just having a word now with the Croydon players. But yeah, what a finish from Luca Trimboli, getting across his man in Abatu and just getting it enough of a touch to guide it in at the far post, but a big enough touch to keep it away, or a slight enough touch to keep it away from John Hall at the near post. So textbook finish there, right across the front of goal.
So the two leading marksmen of both these clubs at the moment have got a goal for either side, and 14 for the season, for Luca Trimboli. 3 in the final series at the moment, so he's the leading man for them in the postseason. But, of course, 2 strikers in some great form at the moment. Bucco again remonstrating with the referee about some of these fouls. But I think it's been a great opening stance to the game, Mark. I mean, it's the first time I've been here as a commentator and to watch Croydon as well. And it just seems like both these teams, you can see why they're so close throughout the season. 1 point between them. You can see why with the early goals we've seen in this game.
Both teams have been fantastic all year. I haven't had a chance to watch Adelaide City as much as the likes of Croydon this season. And but Croydon, I said, I've been really impressed with the way they play their football, the way they go about each game. George has got them playing brilliantly. I wasn't expecting them to be this good this early. With George coming in this year, I thought it might take him a season just to get used to the way he coaches and what he's trying to get across. But they've taken to it like a fish to water. And I'll tell you what, it's been fantastic for Croydon to get themselves back up into these positions.
Yeah, of course, their highest league finish since 2017, finishing 3rd this year, and their most points since 2015 as well, Mark. 10 years, so they've really stepped up their game this year. And over the past few years, we've been reminiscent in talking about them not really challenging for finals, or even in the cup, they haven't really gone too far. And this year, it seems to just all have changed within one coaching appointment.
Yep.
A couple of players different maybe, but otherwise, the coaches come in, really change their style, and that's where they are now today.
But they've kept their core of players, and they've been fantastic, and that's probably the biggest key. They've kept the likes of Greco, the likes of Klimek, obviously, and Vivian and Bolma-Paul. So when you can keep a core of players, and Martinello, I shouldn't miss Martinello, he's been fantastic this year. When you've got a core of group players like that, it certainly makes it easier to integrate new players.
Laurie Latanzio looking at turn provider on that occasion, trying to find Matthew Dorber. Hard to miss out there with his bleach blonde tips, Mark.
And his bright boots, but most people have got bright boots these days. But yeah, like I said, that battle between Vivian and Mapor and Dorber is going to be one to watch, because like I said, Dorber's been around a long time. He knows the game. He knows how to rile up defenders and really annoy them, as well as finish. But it's looking forward to that battle. But he's out here on the left at the moment.
And even as you say, that left side with Noah Smith, Laurie Latanzio, Passia John, and Luke Klimak. I mean, there's probably like 40 goals there by itself. So I think that's going to be an interesting one there to see who's defending more than they're attacking and who's not tracking their runners if one of those defenders / attackers goes forward, and Smith and Klimak. So
yeah, this game just brings up so many individual battles across the pitch, which are all great to watch, and that's what you want from finals football. You want the best teams to be playing against each other, and that certainly got two of the best, considering they finished second and third this year.
Another through ball, very similar to that of the first assist there from Bressan, but on that occasion, Margouche off his line nice and quick and early and claims that. Here is Mapor looking for Polly now. Trimboli tries to hold up there, but young Kylo gets the front position. Now perfectly pancaked, I say, from Martinello, as that came down with some ice on it. I think that's going to go out as well, but great little touch there from the...
The scary part is that's just, after watching Martinello closely the last couple of weeks, it's just what I expect from him now, unfortunately. So, not unfortunately. So... But again, another battle there as well is Trimboli and Kilo. Neither of them have got a lot of experience. I mean, Trimboli's been around probably a little bit longer than Kilo, but it's also just that muscle battle.
And here's that battle we've been looking at all day. Laurie Latanzio and Klimek drives inside, and it's still going to come away with him. Karacha, has he won the corner? He has. On that occasion, it was Passia John doing the defensive work there on that right-hand side, far left, but it's good to see from a winger who's got so many goals this season to still know that he knows his defensive duties as well, Mark.
Yeah, I think George will certainly be making a point of it. And Passia John, he won't shirk the work. He'll make sure he does it. And he knows that he's going to have to track and help Klimek with the likes of Noah Smith and Latanzio on that side. So certainly stepping up both ends of the park this year for Croydon.
Bucco with another set piece near post, and it was Vivian. Got his head on that one. Another great control as well. Bucco delivers it. Third time lucky maybe. He'll win another corner and he'll get a fourth opportunity at this ball going in the far post. But another good win there from Chris Vivian. Another one we've seen at Croydon for a number of years. Come back from 2 ACL injuries as well, Mark. So it's great to see him on the park and have such a successful season this year as he's had and really find his place at centre-back. Here's Bucco again. Can't beat that first man, and it will come out to Karacha. Goes for the spectacular. It's deflected. Going to be another corner, I think, and Noah Smith just shirked out of that one instead of having a shot, Mark. I don't know what you think about that one.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, to be honest. I saw Mapor get his body in the way of another one. But just going back to Vivian, he missed the first 5 or 6 games coming off the bench. Then he got his chance, and he grabbed hold of it and not let go, that's for sure. He's been fantastic this year for Croydon.
Here's Booker with another delivery. Goes short instead of whipping it in, and he's overhit that one as well. Back to Bressan, and they might work this back out to Bucco, but he's asking for it. You can see his hands there, Mark, the classic Italian representation of giving the ball.
Yep.
But on that occasion, he's just not finding it click at the moment, Bucco. A bit more of a deeper position he's been playing this season, and he's getting on the ball a lot more. But it's never enough for a leading player like him. He wants him on the ball all the time, if anything. Great throw to Laurie Latanzio. Tries to find a pass, and it was deflected away from Croydon. Finds way up to Luca Trimboli. Keeps it in impressively, but not to his own teammate.
Yeah, that's one thing. When you've got a player like Booker who's played the 10 role for such a long time, he's in his 30s now. He's getting on in age compared to some of the young whippersnappers that are about these days.
Good ball in again from Dorbo, and was deflected again by Vivian.
It allows him now just to sit in that holding role and dictate the way the game is played. He's smart enough, he's good enough to be able to do that. And he's certainly found a home in that role this year, and it's been great to see. I thoroughly enjoyed watching him play in that sort of deeper lying role.
Here's a Moto, tries to nod that one down the line for Slattery, but it spins out. It'll be an Adelaide City throw with Juan Gutierrez, another one of those remnants from the last couple of championships at Adelaide City.
Was at Cumberland before?
He was. He got picked up and then won the treble with him. So it was a great signing, of course, and he's been an ever-present at right fullback for Adelaide City too.
I've noticed he was filling in at left back in games as well, so he can do it in multiple positions.
Well, it seems like they've been looking for a left back ever since they lost Zach Waters. He was in and out in that year as well, and it had to be Gutierrez to play there, and we've seen Franchisi play there as well, and even young Weston, who had that role for the end of last season and the start of this year, but they finally found a big name to play there at left back, similar to how they brought Gutierrez along, and they're hoping a big signing fullback like Noah Smith can lead him to another championship as prior.
Yeah, left back roles are hard to find, I've noticed, this season. The teams that have got one have to really hold on to them, that's for sure.
Here's Vivian. Not many options forward. He's going to have to boot it down the line, and of course couldn't find anyone. But as he said, there's not too many star left backs in the league, precisely. But I think the players who played there have done a good job in there. But obviously, it seems like a lot of them are maybe not their natural position. So when you see someone,
dedicated left back, someone that's actually an out-and-out left back that can get down the line, that can do all sorts of things like your Pollies and your Noah Smiths. So. That's where some teams have had to sort of make do a little bit and shift, and Adelaide City have done that in the past as well, with shifting Gutierrez across to that left side as well. But now with the likes of Noah Smith, they keeping him fit, they don't have to shift Gutierrez across. That's loose.
Martinello tries the Trivella pass through to Trimboli, but it's good to see a lot of these midfielders having that space and trying those spectacular balls. Here's Karacha, who isn't one to shy away from a bit of skills. You know, he wears the number 80 because of Ronaldinho.
Is that why?
Yeah.
I was wondering why he wore the 80 shirt.
I thought it would have been, but he's a bit younger than 1980 born, so I thought he must have been something specific.
I would hope he's younger than 1980 born. I wasn't even 1980 born. I retired years ago.
So I remember talking to him about it at the start of the season, because he wore the number 11 last year at Adelaide City, and he donned the number 80, and I thought, is he wearing a spare kit in pre-season or something? But he told me Ronaldinho, one of his idols, so he wants to wear it and see what he can do with it. And he's had his best season at Adelaide City with it so far, after last year struggling to make the team. And it's, of course, commentator's curse as he volleys that one back straight out. But yeah, he's had his best season this year, really starting in that midfield and in the team most of the season. And he's trying to get that form back from the early days here at Croydon. Long throw, trying to find its way to Hisamoto. Vivian will get beaten to the ball by Dorbo, and now it's Laurie Latanzio who tries to use his pace down that line, and Bolmapore takes it past a few and gives it to the opposition goalkeeper.
Yeah, that's one good thing. One of the really impressive things with Bolmapore is when he wins the ball, he's not afraid to step into that midfield and provide an extra option. His pass was overhit there, but week in, week out, he wins that ball. He'll look to step in as Martinello goes for a cheeky volley from long way out after seeing John Hall off his line, but didn't hit that as well as he would have liked.
Of course, another two former teammates, and those two linked up the last time these two clubs played in the final series. 2020, a preliminary final where Adelaide City won 3-1, and Martinello was on the score sheet that day as well, and there's a red card to John Hall on that occasion as well when he was in Croydon FC colours. Other goal scorers that day, of course, Bucco, Terence Carter and Jackson Stevens. So it's good to see that remnants of those two squads from those years are still around in these fixtures. Of course, Klimek, Martinello, and Bucco and John Hall as well. But on that occasion, of course, it was Adelaide City who came from 6th all the way through. And for Croydon, it was all doom and gloom that day. But they're back in the finals again for the first time in a couple of years. And this year they've got a couple of legs to work with, not just an elimination final.
Well, they got through that one last week against Burkalla. And to be honest, with a far better side that day. So they came away 4-1 winners. And we talked about players that have played in it. See, I was dating back. I went back as far as 2014 for last week's game, and Klimek was still in the lineup. Just a Mr. Ever-Present, that Luke Klimek, Mr. Croydon, effectively.
Well, I think back then as well, you would have probably seen Jared Brazali, who's on the bench today for Croydon.
Brazali was in the lineup as well.
I would say those two are probably the most experienced Croydon players. I think they probably got number 1 and 2 for the all-time games, maybe. I'm not quite sure.
Brazali will receive a 300th award at their presentation night this year.
He did get that.
He did play the 300th this year, so...
Found it interesting as well for both these sides that their record against top 6 sides who made finals this year throughout the league season. And for Croydon FC, they only won 4 games against top 6 sides this year. And 3 times that was Burkalla, of course. And the other time Adelaide United. So they really haven't got too many points off of the rest of the league that made the finals this season. But as we'll see in the second half, I don't think Adelaide City did too much of the same either. They didn't only won 3 times against the top 6 this season. One of them being against Croydon previously. The other time against Beergrad and the other time against the United Youth team as well. So with Beergrad and Burkalla both out, these teams playing today, Croydon and Adelaide City, have only beaten one top 6 remaining side left, and both of them, of course, lost both times out to Metro Stars. So if they're the team they play in the finals, they're not going to be too happy.
It just means they'll have to do something they haven't done all year. In saying that, not a lot of teams beat Metro this year. They come up against Adelaide United Youth later today.
Ball back post to Bruce Kamau, who takes the volley on.
Just didn't quite hit it as well as he would have liked.
Good defending. It was seed out of it by Polly, and it was a hard shot to get on target with the defender right to your left there. But again, a good ball in, which is great to see. And these wingers for both teams are getting really involved early on. That's what you want to see. No one hiding at the moment. And that's what you get in these big games coming up to September. That's what you hope as well.
When you've got players that have got A-League experience in both sides, are able to raise their team up to the level needed for a finals. And when you've got experience in there like Klimek and Bucco for Adelaide City, you sort of, it doesn't take much to get the best out of the players.
Kylo with a bouncing back pass to his goalkeeper, who clear it high and centrally. And Dorba's got almost 3 Croydon shirts to deal with, and now Bucco will come away with it. Gets knocked off the ball. He'll win that foul. Of course, we'll keep you up to date with those scores as they come around. For Sturt Lions and Salisbury, another great game in the State League. Sturt, of course, already promoted, but for Salisbury, they're looking to go up for the first time in quite a few years after their dramatic penalty win last week. And they need a good start in the first leg against Sturt Lions at home in front of those great ultras as well. So give you those updates as they come through. But at the moment, it's 1-1 here. The goals are flowing. And that's good news for me as well. I don't like to commentate games without any goals, so I'm glad my first experience here at Regency, it's got a couple of goals as well. Big tackles flying in on the far side. I think it was a stamp there from Passia John. He's going to get a talking to as well from the referee here. There's a couple of strong challenges on that far side with Karacha and Passia John. And they're not shirking out, even though they've got another leg to deal with next week. I'm sure both teams want to get it done in the first.
Oh, they'll certainly try, but that's a good sign. Neither side is going to give anything away. They're going to go through the challenges. They're going to work hard. And it just shows there that challenge to challenge, and then eventually it was a foul to Karacha, but Passageon certainly not shirking his responsibilities there, and probably just caught him a little bit late.
Another long ball that time, over hit to Laurie Latanzio. Got about 5 minutes till half time on the clock, looks like. An entertaining half so far, but I'm sure we want to see a bit more than that. That's a good win from Laurie Latanzio. Looks in behind to Kamau, but again, Margouche off his line early. Beats him to the ball. Slattery does well. Now it breaks as the fullback Gutierrez is out of position. Slattery takes it forward again, looking for his strike partner there in Trimboli, and he's going to win out there, the striker. Good defensive duties from the front, it seems, as well. Now Slattery will keep this remaining with Croydon as they win a corner late into this half.
Yeah, good hard work there from Trimboli, not giving up on the ball, and then eventually forcing the corner. And that's a thing that Croydon do very well, is they work hard off the ball and they defend from the front, which puts teams under pressure, which has led to them scoring a number of goals through that, because they'll win a set piece and they'll force the corner home. So
here is the corner from Hisamoto. Bucco is there at the near post to clear, and Styles and Mapor get under it, and Karachi is the first one to meet the ball. Plays it through to Matt Dorber. It's a race with him and the keeper, and Margouche does fantastically well to beat him to the ball and even put a through ball to his winger here in Hisamoto.
Yeah, game's certainly opening up. End-to-end stuff for Margouche again. Mr. Reliable at the back, just playing a high line, allowing himself to get to that ball before Dorber. And what a great ball it ended up turning out to be for Hisamoto to run onto and win another corner. So, as I said, the game's starting to stretch a little bit just before half-time with only a few minutes to go.
It's been a very entertaining affair as well. It seems like it's going coast to coast every time someone gets the ball. And for both goalkeepers, they've had a good half, but they both conceded one. So Hisamoto now far post. There's something going on in the box here. He's going to have to take the corner again, and I'm not sure if it was a push maybe from Noah Smith. Not sure he's got any idea from the assistants on the sides, but it's going to be retaken in any case, and I think maybe Adelaide City are fortunate not to give away a penalty there.
Yeah, Noah Smith looked like he was saying he was being pulled. But both players go down in the box.
Hisamoto now, take two. And again, Noel Smith is in the danger of it, and he clears it out for another throw in on the far side instead.
That was a really dangerous position there with that corner coming in. And it's a shame that none of the Croydon players were able to get on the end of that, because Noel Smith ended up having a relatively easy clearance, but if a Croydon player come through, they could have caused some issues there.
Here's a long throw from Klimek. Does find the header pass you, John, but it is cleared with ease from Matthew Dorber. Vivian tries an attempt, and they'll work it out to this left side instead. Here's Polly. Deep delivery, and seen all the way through from John Hall, who releases again straight out the other side. As we said, it's just end-to-end at the moment. Here's Noah Smith. Takes it past Martinello. This could be the first booking of the day, Mark. I think it's going to be, as he was straight through on goal. Well, not goal, sorry. Straight through on the attack. He was taken out cynically, so that's going to be the first booking of the day. And it's going to be to Adam Martinello. He's seen a few this season. He's 9th in all competitions in the midfield, so he's no stranger to one, but he's also no stranger to a goal.
You'd certainly expect that from your midfield. He works hard. He's probably a little bit more of a sitting midfielder, so he's going to give away a lot of free kicks at times, and I think that's quite a good foul there. It's Smith was getting away from him, and he was able just to get enough on him, just to not hurt him or anything, but just enough to bring him down, slow the attack down, and now they've won the ball back from that free kick.
Poor delivery there from Smith, and even even poorer giveaway there from Klimek as he just misplaces the ball. Finds its way to Karacha instead. And now they come out through the right-hand side, Adelaide City. Good turn there from Matthew Dorber in the middle of the park. Again looking through for Laurie Latanzio, but again picked out as well. John now tries to switch this out through the midfield to the left-hand side. Polly's making the attacking run through centrally. And now he'll find Slattery. 1v1 with Gutierrez. Slattery, can he get the ball in? He does. Far post, nobody's there. And danger averted for Adelaide City.
And right there in that passage of play, you see the two differences that the two teams are taking. Adelaide City trying to slow it down, trying to just keep the ball and then play it into Dorber. He's able to turn and look for that ball in behind. Croydon, as soon as they win it, they're going. They're going as quick as they can. They get the ball wide to their wide players, and Slattery in this occasion. Great ball in. I'd like to see Slattery try and take on Gutierrez a little bit more. Take him on 1v1 when he's got the opportunity and then look to do something. But in this instance, he's gone the outside. Great ball in, and unfortunately, Passage John had tucked inside instead and not gone far post on this occasion.
Cleared centrally again. My pause there, takes it down and puts it into another area. Bouncing awkwardly for Kylo to deal with, and Trimboli can't keep that under his control. It'll unfortunately find its way back to John Hall's feet. And we're just into added time now. Don't expect there'll be too much. Of course, about 2 or 3 with a couple of goals, but no major stoppages. So I think we'll see our way to the half very soon. Here's Kylo, opens his legs out to try and launch it to Matthew Dorber. They'll get the seconds here instead with Gutierrez. Plays it down the line to Bressan. Flicks it up audaciously. Back post as well. It's a difficult one to deal with. Laurie Latanzio tries the nutmeg on Passio John again, who does some excellent defensive work, but a very dangerous ball in there from Bressan again, who seems like he's the danger man at the moment, and that's overhit from Noah Smith. But that will be the halftime whistle here at Regency Park for this first leg encounter between Croydon FC and Adelaide City. At the break, it's 1-1, and we'll join you in that second half as well for some more action. Don't go anywhere.
For over 25 years, HPG Homes have been helping South Australians build and own their dream home. Whether it's a house and land package, custom build or development, our HPG fixed price guarantee ensures no nasty surprises or price changes along the way. We're committed to quality, affordability and creating a way of life for you and your family. Fixed price turnkey. It's gotta be HPG. HPG Homes. For For over 25 years, HPG Homes have been helping South Australians build and own their dream home. Whether it's a house and land package, custom build or development, our HPG fixed price guarantee ensures no nasty surprises or price changes along the way. We're committed to quality, affordability and creating a way of life for you and your family. Fixed price turnkey. It's gotta be HPG. HPG Homes.
In their own hands, Irabona. There's a plethora of opponents, but gets his shot in, and that's a fine goal by Alan Irabona to make it 4-2, and Irabona has 3 for the night. And what a finish.
And it's Hamish McCabe from distance. Wowee! What a goal to double the lead.
What a night Fred Sunday's had so far, really driving that attack up front.
And now, can I do something again? And there we have it, it's number 4! Mulberry Jets, out of nothing! Quickly get back into it again! And it's McCabe!
It's not going to plan in the first half. That saw Parry Hill's getting in front. Another chance! Wow! Locked up again in the paddocks. 2-2. Puts in the penalty and wins the grand final for Campbelltown City.
For over 25 years, HPG Homes have been helping South Australians build and own their dream home. Whether it's a house and land package, custom build or development, our HPG fixed price guarantee ensures no nasty surprises or price changes along the way. We're committed to quality, affordability, and creating a way of life for you and your family. Fixed price, turnkey. It's gotta be HPG. HPG Homes.
Coles Mini Roos is more than just football. It is a place to find our feet, learn new skills, and meet new friends. Football starts here. Find your place. Join our team.
Nice shot from outside. What an effort that was.
For over 25 years, HPG Homes have been helping South Australians build and own their dream home. Whether it's a house and land package, custom build or development, our HPG fixed price guarantee ensures no nasty surprises or price changes along the way. We're committed to quality, affordability, and creating a way of life for you and your family. Fixed price, turnkey. It's gotta be HPG. HPG Homes.
We all play the same game. The battlefield may look different, but between those painted lines, the feeling each of us get alongside our tribe. Let the moment sink in, then let it rip. The runs out wide, last-ditch efforts and clean sheets. The tap-in or rocket to the top bins. The eruption of the 12th player that sends shivers down your spine. It's in the way we celebrate, because football is everyone's game. Play football.
On the back of the announcement at the celebration of football, NPLSA will be investing $50,000 into a coach education fund. $35,000 will be invested into community coach education, which will see 19 courses at club venues and over 500 community coaches. Working closely with clubs to develop and upskill coaches will strengthen the grassroots community, which will obviously benefit the football community as a whole.
It can only be beneficial because most of the clubs, most of the coaches start off just as parents coaching their kids' teams, and they're learning on the job as much as the kids. So this would be perfect because not only would kids be getting coached, the coaches will be getting coached.
As a club, we struggle to attract good coaches, and having this sort of funding coming our way will actually allow us to sort of offer more boys and girls out there to actually coach at the club. Everything comes at a cost these days, and this award presented to our club here again will allow our average parents, supporters, players to the opportunity to come out and actually to take on coaching and to be part of it. They've got a passion about this sport and a passion about this club. They'll be able to come here now, get trained up, and actually take on a team and just move forward with us here.
The remaining $15,000 will be invested into a joint initiative with NPLSA, Adelaide United and PSV, where selected coaches and technical directors from South Australia will be given the professional development opportunity to go to PSV in October 2025.
Once you get the bug for the coaching, you love it, and you love seeing the kids improve, especially the connection to your club. You want to see the kids come through at your club, and it's just a win-win for everyone.
Welcome back here to the second half of this NPL semi-final first leg fixture between the home team Croydon FC and their visitors Adelaide City. Early goals in that first half to lead it to 1-1 was from Laurie Latanzio and Luca Trimboli, both top scorers of either club. And we're back underway in this second half now to see what lead or no lead we're going to see into this second leg, Mark. So hopefully we can see more of the same, but it'd be a bit annoying if it's just a stalemate going into the second game, I guess.
Yeah, look, I think you can expect neither team to change the way they played. Both teams had their moments. Both teams had their opportunities.
Ball found its way to Kamau, and it's been cleaned up. Laurie Latanzio with a great shot. An even better save from Daniel Margash in the goal as well.
As I said, neither team's going to give an inch in this game, and both teams will certainly come out firing. And Adelaide City, the first ones to make their opportunity, or take their opportunity, and Laurie Latanzio forcing a great save out of Margash only 30 seconds into this game, or into the second half, sorry.
A great save from the young shot stopper in goal. He's going to Croydon to deal with as well. It's another poor attempt though, and Trimboli, I think, win that free kick just on top of the box. But at the moment, Adelaide City just haven't got their corners right, Mark. I mean, they had a few in that first half, couldn't beat the first man, and it looked like they've changed up who's taking him, and it's still the same result.
Yeah, you could see when it looked like Noah Smith had drifted over to take that one. He just seemed to have hit the ground or just didn't quite connect properly and cleared in the end. But yeah, Bucco was the same in the first half. He just couldn't find his range quite what he had last week. So that's something they'll look to work on in this half, that's for sure.
Change of boots as well in the half-time break for Noah Smith. He's changed into some yellow ones now, so he's even harder to miss, and right in front of us as well for this second half. So we'll have a good view of his game today and see if he can get on the score sheet or maybe create one again. Here's Laurie Latanzio. He loses out in the middle of the park. Here's a motor. His touch is poor as well, and Bucco can come away with it. Kylo with another direct ball. Mapor is in the way though. Now Martinello can only put it into the path of Bucco, who see it over the line for a throw-in. Gutierrez goes straight into the feet of Matthew Dorber. Kamau tries to spin Mapor and he'll win the throw-in as well. As we said, going into this half as well, both teams have got quite a strong bench as well to call upon. Even with Andre Kyle not in the squad today, both teams have got some experience on that bench as well. For Croydon, of course, you've got Brazzali, the 300 gamer, Greco, Good, David, and Santana Barkovsky. And for Adelaide City as well, you've got Binyam Kabidi, Yuki Kitano, Nicholas Francesa, Vian Kurikwamana, the former Croydon player as well, and of course Oliver Weston, the youngster who's made a name for himself this season. So the way things are going here, and neither team's happy with the draw, as we see Slattery continue his run forward on the left flank, looking for a cross, and he finds the behind of Lewis Kylo, and out for another throw-in. But very strength and depth for both of these sides, Mark, and I think it's going to carry them in good stead for this finals run as well.
Yeah, they've certainly got the strength in depth. I mean, when you go through those two benches, you just sort of go, yeah, they've got experience for the park. And when you've got the likes of Greco sitting on the bench for Croydon, having him back from injury is massive, as we know what he can bring, and he was in great form up until his injury.
Here's Smith and Laurie Latanzio again linking up on this left-hand side. The tricky winger goes inside the box, but defended well from the captain of Bologna, Luke Klimek, and now it's gone down the other end. Passia John, the fullback's out of place at the moment in Noah Smith, and they opt to switch it to the side where there is a fullback present. And now Slattery would look for his Emoto, and his pass is poor and cut out by Lewis Kylo. Interesting option there from Passia John. His fullback opponent was out of his position there. He could have taken him on, Mark, but he's opted to switch it early.
I would have liked to have seen him run it. I think it might have been Bucco that was covering. I would have liked to have seen him run at Bucco and take him on. Slattery did that on the other side. Before that, he managed to get down the line and take a Bucco on 1v1 there, but eventually he won the throw-in. But I think both the wingers for Croydon, they just need to back themselves a little bit more at the moment, and and run at those defenders, and especially if you've got one out of position like Noel Smith where he was there, Passy John's got to really just run at them and go. But get closer to those. Get closer when they're taking their 1v1s. Get them closer to the box, because once you get them in the box, it's got to be a good tackle. Otherwise, it's a penalty. So, as we saw before, Klimek showing us how it's done there against Laurie Latanzio. So, I would just like them to see them take them on a little bit more. Really back themselves.
We'll see now another corner opportunity for Adelaide City. Taken by Noah Smith. What can he do with this one? It's a better delivery. Far post. Good claim, though, from Margouche, and he'll try and set them away early. He's blocked off by Bucco there on that occasion.
Doesn't look very windy, but that ball, when that came in from that corner, certainly hung up in the wind and certainly seems to be going right to left. As you look at, as you watch the screen, certainly favouring Adelaide City in this half, I think. But like I said, it doesn't look like much, but just seeing that corner there and the way the ball's behaving, it does look like there is a bit of a, down on the pitch level, bit of a wind.
His Styles now. His pass is blocked off by Caracho. Seems to be everywhere today at the moment. In all those defensive battles, winning some headers off corners as well, and now he's in there pressing from the front as well. So it's good to see him all over the park and get really involved with this Adelaide City side today.
Wouldn't expect anything less from Patrick Caracho. Just one of those players, no nonsense. Dig in, do the hard yards, cover pretty much every plastic blade of grass on this pitch.
Be interesting seeing these remaining minutes in the second half as well, how much either side will go for it. Will they try and bring on some attackers to try and get some goals, or will they be happy, especially Adelaide City side, going into maybe the second leg 1-1 or potentially even more? But it'll be interesting to see how much they push for a win here in these remaining second half, because obviously they don't need to get it done right away today, but it'd be very helpful if they could get a couple.
I'll certainly make it easier going into that second leg at home with a lead.
Couple back heels there. Bucco tries to get away from the danger. Slattery bouncing around him, and he tries to go down the line and win the throw-in instead. But of course, it'd be very helpful to go into a lead at home, playing in front of your home team and at your home ground as well. But I think Croydon are one of those teams that no matter when you come up against them, and if you already got a lead or not, they're really going to test you in that back line, especially with all the goals that come from across their park. Still alive here. Ball hasn't gone out. I think it has. The liner's got his flag up as they try and make their way forward, and Karachi's taken that one, I think, maybe in the unmentionables, but that ball was pulled back for a throw-in in eventual fact after the assistant on that far side raised his flag as Slattery was going forward. Smith now joins the attack. Adelaide City shirts streaming forward, but Kamau opts for the, I don't know if it's a chip pass or maybe he's having his shot, but in either case it was not very effective. Nor is that goal kick, it seemed maybe, but Passy John finally got his head on that one and chased that ball. He's going to chase with it with Laurie Latanzio here, and Klimek's clearance almost find its way up to Trimboli.
Well, I said that wind, I think, is playing more of a havoc on that pitch than what we can see on the screen. That hit from Margouche looked like, for all intents and purposes, was going to go out.
And that back pass is cleared from danger by Chris Vivian, who nips in ahead of Kamau, who seemed to be ready to aim and shoot, but defensive header from Klimek. You don't see many of those mistakes from his game.
No, certainly not. And he's made one there, and Vivian's done really well to get back in front of Kamau before he takes that shot and clears it. Some of the City players asking the question of a penalty, but Vivian got there first and cleared it very well. But very lucky there that Vivian was on it there. Klimek has to thank him after the game.
Here's Bucco now on the set piece on this near side, it seems, and it's a good delivery just on the roof of the net. Saw him score from a corner in his last game, their last league game of the season. That 7-1 win over Adelaide Croatia Raiders. He's scored 2 in the opening 10 minutes there in that game as well. One was a deflected free kick. The other one was a direct Olympico from the corner flag, sorry. On that occasion, it was a spectacular one, but today, not so much at the moment.
And again, that wind, I think, is playing its role. When you're able to get that ball in, as we see that kick there, makes it to the halfway line. But I think there is a wind down there that is playing havoc with that ball and with the way that teams are able to play and push the ball through.
Good touch down there from Styles to find Polly. And again, getting on the ball well is Hisamoto, as is Karacha, who gets stamped on again there. And it looks like it's going to be another booking for Croydon. It's going to be Hisamoto, and if memory serves me correctly, there was a stamp right in the first half, right on that same side, in a very similar motion, but from a different player and by a different player. But second player into the book for Croydon after Martinello in the first half, in a very similar situation, but
and none for Adelaide City.
Of course, both teams having very similar stats across the board in goals fourth, but defensively Adelaide City have actually been the better of the two, only conceding 29 goals this season, while for Croydon it's 39. And that's in all competitions, of course, including the Cup and including that finals game last week as well for Croydon. Here's Smith now looking for an option. Not much to go with, so he goes himself. Looks for Bressan, finds an excellent return to him. Noah Smith. And the cutback wasn't good enough, Mark. He made his way all the way to the touchline, and he was probably surprised that Bressan's pass found its way to him in the end.
That was a great pass from Bressan. I'm not sure how he managed to dig that out and get it down the line for Smith to run onto. And then I think he's going to be very disappointed with his final decision there, because he wasn't sure whether to shoot or cross, and in the end it went straight to Margush, who was happy to take that one.
Trimboli, good pass to Martinello, but his touch evades him. Now Adelaide City will come out with some excellent football. One-touch play, and now Noah Smith unleashes Laurie Latanzio. Margush will meet him to the ball there and maybe see it out himself, but it's an excellent idea there again from Noah Smith, and you can see him killing himself about the opportunity before, but you can see he never shies away from creating another one minutes later.
Exactly, and that's the thing. I think he, like I said, he'd be very disappointed. He wasn't sure whether to shoot or cross, and in the end he just sort of gave it up to Margush, where I think in his current form, I'm not sure why he just didn't have a pop at near post. I know it's a very tight angle, but I think Margush would have expected the cut back. And like I said, in his form at the moment, 3 goals in his last 4 games. Why not have a shot from that angle? As Adelaide City have certainly been the better side in this half of the game. And like I said, I think this doesn't look like it, but I think there's more of a wind down on that ground level, which is certainly having an impact on this game. Croydon had it in the first half, and I thought they started off really well in that first half. It seems this half it's Adelaide City's turn. They've just got to make it count.
Another set piece for Adelaide City. They haven't made these count all day today. I don't think they've made a first contact in anything, Mark. But
well, they have. They've hit the first man.
Yeah, there hasn't been at least a player in their shirt. But the targets that Bucco's looking for on this one, I think, is going to be at the back post. It's Smith who gets his head on that one, and it's no trouble for the goalkeeper. But at least they found a black and white shirt, Mark.
He beat the first man. That's the key. Beat that first man and see what happens. And Smith rising highest there, but just unable to get his head over the ball, and it went over the bar of Margush. As I said, this is where Croydon will have to start to think about how they're going to approach the attacking element of their game in this final third of the pitch.
Good touch forward from Bucco, and that's an even better one from Bressan. There's a bit of a head clash there, Mark. As I think it was Bressan trying to launch it through to Matthew Dorber, and again, big interception there And it looks like it's the goalkeeper who's come off the worst of all here, Mark. After Mapor, Dorba and him all had a bit of a collision there. And he's gone down on his feet there. He's clutching the back of his head. This is something you don't want to see, especially for someone as important as him.
I'm not sure if he's just getting his arms up because he's winded himself, because he has collided with Mapor and Dorba. And we both know Dorba and Mapor, neither of them are going to back out of a challenge. They're both going to go for the ball. So it looks like City are making a substitution.
Neither of them as well are very slight men to battle out with as well.
Mapor's, as I said last week, Mapor is a man mountain. He's a giant fella.
So we are going to see that substitution. It is Matthew Dorba to make way in the 60th minute here for Yuki Kitano to replace him up front. The new signing, visa signing this season, coming across from Marconi Stallions, where he won the championship. He's looking to go 2 from 2 this year and win one with the other Italian club in the Eastern States with Adelaide City. He's had a great year so far. And he probably lost his starting place a couple of weeks ago, but he's had a good year. In actual fact, he's the second top scorer for Adelaide City this year, Mark, with 8 goals. And he's probably maybe a bit disappointed not to be the starting number 9 for them for these important games, but he's got his big chance to in these last 30 minutes to maybe get a chance for himself to start next week in the second leg. Yeah,
it does surprise me a little bit. He has scored a number of goals, and he's very exciting when he does get into the action and play. But when you've got the likes of Dorba as well, it's great that they've got that competition, and you know that neither of them are going to take a foot off the gas or anything like that. So, but great for Adelaide City, great headache for Vas to be able to have that option of going, okay, who am I going to start? Am I going to start Kitano or am I going to start Dorba? And today he's gone with Dorba, who's done a great deal of work in that first in the 60 minutes.
Laurie Latanzio looks far post for somebody, and no one's on the end of that one. But of course, they've also got Binyam Kabidi on the bench. I mean, 3 strikers that probably start at a lot of other clubs in the NPL and state leagues as well. But to have them all at one club really goes to show, as we talked about before, the depth in these sides coming into games like this with such long seasons. Of course, we'll see in the next few weeks as well, Metro Stars in the Australian Championship. So you need depth in your squad to create enough competition for all of these games you have coming up. And for Adelaide City, they're, I'm sure, hoping to have at least 2 or 3 more games left in their season. So that's what you need all these players for. Here's Polly. Forward, cut out by another great challenge, and one again there by Paddy Karacha. He just uses his body so well in front of those spots, and Gutierrez has gone early here looking for Kitano. And Styles has put his body in the way ahead of Kamau. Left for Bressan, but Mapor's in the way. He used his body well and spins out of the danger. A little foul there as well. It looks like it's going to be paid for that contact on him by Bressan, and looks like Croydon at the moment are happy with this and looking to get their stranglehold back on this game.
Yeah, they've certainly lost a little bit of that control, I said, but in saying that, when I say lost, Adelaide City have probably gained a little bit more control in this second half. And thanks to Sportal One World LED scoreboard for all your indoor and outdoor LED solutions, West Adelaide and Campbelltown in the WNPL still locked at 0-0. And in the HPG Homes State League 1, Salisbury and Sturt are locked at 0-0, and that's half-time in that game.
Looks like they're readying a sub here as well, Croydon. And it looks like it's going to be that man who's come back from injury, Thomas Greco. But before that happens, it's Noah Smith who's driving forward, looking for another goal or assist, I'm sure. And on that occasion, it wasn't provided to him by Paddy Karacha, but picked off this time by Oscar Slattery and Ned Styles. Good win. Good touch as well from Parhas on that far touchline.
I wouldn't expect anything less from Vas Parhas, to be honest.
You would expect maybe him to just header it away like a true centre-back he is, but he touched that down and played. You can see he's obviously a bit of an evolution there from centre-backs, playing out from the back now. That's what he's doing with his team as well. So
I always knew Vas as a midfielder. When I played with him at Campbelltown, he was very much the engine in the middle of the park. Captain as well at the time when I was there.
Here's Klimek with another poor decision to play that back to Styles, and play it straight out. It's a bit uncharacteristic from him in this second half at the moment.
A little bit more pressure on him in that instance, and sort of felt it a little bit there. Good pressure from Adelaide City. Be interesting to see who comes off Alessio for this change for Greco to come on.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if it's one of those midfielders. Maybe Styles. He's maybe not got the run in the legs at the moment. Came off in the 76 last week, so he might get a bit of a more run today. Gutierrez, though, with a great ball in, and Klimek on that occasion does clear well, and so does Martinello. And they'll keep this alive for a bit longer and make Greco wait on the sidelines there to come on. Here's Karacha. Laurie Latanzio beaten to it by Klimek, but he'll still come away with it. And again, a big sliding challenge. And I think it'll be an Adelaide City ball in the end. And it will be. Slowly building up from the back now, Adelaide City. Fine Kamau in the middle of the park. That deflection's found its way to an Adelaide City player, but Kitano was weak in the challenge, and now Croydon will come away with it. Pasio John looking for a pass more than anything, and now he uses his speed. He's going to get away from Bucco here. Now he's got Abichu to deal with. Puts a dangerous delivery in, and nobody attacks it on that occasion. Very surprising, seeing how they started in the first half with Trimboli nipping in for balls like that, Mark. So finally we've seen Pasio John take his defender on. He beat him with ease, so he's got to find some confidence in that.
Yeah, and that's what I said they need to do. But like I said, I think this wind is playing a lot more of an issue than what it looks to be honest, because Croydon seem to be sort of certainly sitting in a lot more and not pressing as hard, pressing as high, allowing Adelaide City to have.
Great challenge there from Klimek. Sorry, Mark. That was another chance for a winger to go 1v1, and Klimek has really turned it on these last couple of minutes in plays since making those two errors. But as you were saying,
yeah, Klimek, there's nothing less from Klimek than I'd expect, to be honest.
Didn't deal with that one. Kylo in behind to Trimboli, looks for the cutback, and I think it's going to come off him, in fact, for a goal kick, but a big chance there.
That's better from Croydon now, and they need to do more of this, is find the wider players, bring them into the game, because that's where they had all their joy from in the first half, is those wide plays. But I think they're starting to run out of legs just a little bit.
Looks like it's going to be Hisamoto to make way. He did get that booking just earlier, and obviously they made the choice between him and Martinello, both on bookings. Who's more likely to maybe get another one, or more likely to need to rest up for next week? So they're going to bring Hisamoto off and Greco on. Of course, Greco came on in the 70th last week as well. And there's a bit of it early, just a little couple minutes earlier than he had last week, but for Hisamoto, he played the full 90 last week, so he's got a bit more of a rest this week.
Yeah, again, it's what we were talking about earlier, that squad depth is you're able to bring on a player like Greco, who most of this season has controlled the midfield for Croydon. He dictates the pace, the tempo of the game for Croydon, and you can now bring him in for the last 20 or so minutes and see if he can create something. Like I said, I think for Croydon, they need to get their wide players back on the ball a little bit more, as that's where they've been the most dangerous, is when those two players in Pasio John and Slattery have been on the ball and able to deliver crosses or look to run at their player. But Adelaide City seem to have curtailed that this half a lot better.
Bucco now looking for an option forward. We'll find Laurie Latanzio, spreads the ball out to Noah Smith, looking for a cutback. Come right back to him, but on the other side of that touchline for a corner.
Great cut out there from Vivian. A great play from Adelaide City. They've been a lot better this half, Adelaide City. A lot more pressure, a lot more chance to work the ball to their dangerous players and get them into good areas for deliveries like that one.
Bucco touching his head, looking maybe for somebody to clip this with theirs. It's bouncing around. Looks like it might be another corner. That's what the assistant is pointing to. I'm not sure the ref is waiting for.
I think Adelaide City are claiming for a handball at the far post. A great ball in there from Bucco this time. Margush taken out of the equation on that one, but unfortunately for Adelaide City they couldn't make it count.
Now again pointing to the head is Noah Smith. Can his delivery do the same? It's lower. And it looked like Kamal was trying to race onto that one, but wasn't in luck. And now Gutierrez with the audacious attempt out for a goal kick. But a couple of interesting set-piece plays here from both sides, it seems. And at the moment, neither are paying off, but it's good to see them change it up and change up how they're attacking this. Bucco battles out there. He's not going to win the free kick despite his protests. Looked like he was dealing with two Croydon players there. Maybe jumped illegally, maybe some hands where they're not meant to be, and he's really remonstrating with the referee now about how it's gone that way. But in my opinion, I think it's a correct call from the referee.
Yeah, it looked like he just a hand on the back. And Trimboli's feeling it, so it could have even been just a forearm to the back of the neck as all three players went up for it.
We'll finally see this set piece come, but Bucco's not finished talking to the referee. And Vivian will play it right back into his head anyway, so can't be too mad now, and I think he's stopped talking as well. Goes in with that time, doesn't win the free kick again. He's going to win it now, and you can see in the far side as well, those Croydon coaches are not happy with that one, and Bucco is finally happy to receive one go his way. And
it was just, I think, good refereeing. You're just seeing if there was an advantage for Adelaide City. The ball did go backwards, but it also went to one of their players. So just seeing if there was an advantage. When he saw that there wasn't, he's called it back in and got it right there as well.
Ball in, good flick there from Smith to Kamal to spin and shoot. Can't get his shot away, and I think he's gotten caught there maybe. Or maybe he kicked the man instead of the ball. Here's Martinello battling out with his former teammate there, and Trimboli does well to keep this alive. He's left-footed, so I'm sure he's going to cut this back in a second. Uses that right foot, and he might win out with a corner. But Abichu makes sure he doesn't.
He did well to stay on side there as well. I thought he drifted just offside, but the assistant referee on this near side happy to he decided he was still on side, and yeah, that's a worrying sign for Adelaide City that Kamal is down. He looked like he just sort of took a knock on that ankle, I think, when he went to turn and shoot. Just have to keep an eye on that and see what Adelaide City...
They were readying a sub very quickly as soon as he was down. It looks like it's Binyam Kabidi on the far side talking to another ex-Croydon championship winner in Stevie Pepper.
Yep.
They've got him on both sides as well. Of course, Croydon have their own in Michael Doyle being on the assistant coach's ranks, but it looks like Stephen is looking for Kabidi to come on here maybe, and we'll see how injured Kamal will be if he can keep playing. But
good thing is he was able to walk off, so it looks like he's ready to come back on. Regis will keep him there until he's allowed back on. It won't be straight away. I think there's a time delay they have to wait these days now.
Long throw in comes in. Bucco wins out. Vivian tries to keep it alive. It'll be difficult for Klimek to keep in, but nothing's too difficult for him, and he gets the cross in, and it's deemed out from the throw in here, but another great little flick there from Trimboli. Yeah. Thought it was going to nestle in the far post, then you would have seen some complaints. But
yeah, the assistant referee was right on it, right there. And as soon as Klimek managed to slide to keep that in, the flag went up, and then the great cross in too, just quietly, and a great little flick from Trimboli. Getting across his man. It didn't count, but getting across his man to win that first ball. That's how he scored his goal in the first half.
Here's Smith looking long into that midfield. A couple of men down there, and it's found its way back to Croydon. Martinello tries to go forward. Smith, great touch there from Kamal. He looks like he's recovered. And Kitano's touch couldn't find a Adelaide City teammate. camera there, I'm sure you can see more of Yuki Kitano's legs and covered in socks. You can probably see more of the skin than the sock in the end, but as he turns around, of course, it's something you see more and more. I was watching the reserves game before, and I saw a play.
Yeah, it's one of the things that a lot of pros are doing these days is cutting holes in their socks to allow the calves to breathe and not feel so compressed, because a lot of the socks these days are probably a little bit more compression.
I don't know how their shin pads stay up there now if they've got no compression in those socks, but
I'm sure they've got tape underneath somewhere, that's for sure.
Martinello tries to get in between 3 Adelaide City players. Bucco, I think he had a look up for a strike. It looks like it was very deep. I don't know if he's ever scored one that deep before, but there was no Adelaide City players to chase or to even aim at.
I wasn't sure if he was shooting or just basically just trying to clear the danger there, because he certainly looked up to have a look. So I'm not sure if it was just the clearance, but Croydon in the last sort of 5 minutes have got themselves back into this game a little bit more, putting a little bit more pressure on Adelaide City. Whereas the first half of this second half, it was all Adelaide City.
Looks like Kabidi is almost ready to come on now. And after Kamau loses out, I'd be surprised if it's not him. Here's Passia John away from danger. Spins out again. Looking for a strike from here. Deflects it and he'll catch that as well. But Caracho in with a strong challenge as well. And he'll come away with it again. He's got young Styles to deal with. Smith launches long. Is Kitano onside? It looks like he is not, in fact. I thought he was just about to be, and he can't finish it anyway. But
that was nice of him to give the ball back to Margouche via the post.
He might get a little warning here, in fact, but in my opinion, that the flag and the whistle didn't come late enough for him to probably even notice. So
yeah, it was certainly late flag going up, but he was just waiting to see if he was going to get onto the end of the through ball. As it is that change, Alessio.
It is Binyam Kabidi to come onto the park for Yuki Kitano, and I think he's maybe throwing the pickle juice to Daniel Bressan there. He just threw something across the deck, and looks like he's coming on ready, made an assist mark.
And it is Kamau that made way.
Smith's clearance looking for Kitano. Another ball across the box, and Klimac's got to watch his shoulder here because Laurie Latanzio's there, but puts his body in great position there, does Klimac, and wins the free kick instead, and no danger for Croydon.
Yeah, very well dealt with there by Klimac, because I wasn't sure if it was going to be him or Margouche to get that one, and in the end he went in and just beautifully positioned himself in between the ball and Latanzio and forced him, Laurie Latanzio, to foul him. So just experience right there from Klimac.
More experience there from Trimboli to try and hold that up. I think he was being held around his neck, so he's going to get the foul, and Abatu's quite
I would say he's got to be careful there, because that was a punch then.
It's a bit of a slap on the chest. I didn't really see it. I think they call it a jumper punch in footy, but he was very agitated there for a very meaningless foul. So and now Bucco again is remonstrating with this referee. He's got to start getting a bit further away from him, otherwise he's going to be the first one booked. But in any case, it's a free kick for Croydon in a good area for them to try and dink it far post and just put it in between the keeper and the penalty spot maybe. Area. Looks like Trimboli's come over this to possibly take and maybe shoot from it.
He's certainly lining up as it's going to be a shot.
So they've turned away a couple of other regular takers for a cross in Martinello and Klimac. And it's going to be Trimboli here from the angle and the distance as well, Mark.
About 35 yards.
He has a strike. It's not a bad connection, but he was never looking on target.
Just couldn't get it low enough. Hit it well, but just couldn't get it to drop in time to cause issues for John Hall.
Bucco now Looking to picked out by Klimek. Was he hit behind? The ball is here as well, Mark. It's going to be a booking of Laurie Latanzio here. Not sure if he swung an arm back there as Klimek was putting his body in the way, but it's the first booking of the day to Adelaide City.
It is. It seemed a little innocuous, but Klimek went down straight away.
I think he's maybe asking the question, the referee, was that intentional? Is that an arm thrown back? And I think the referee is talking to his assistants, as you can see there, with the microphone there. And it'd be interesting to see what eventuates from this, Mark, because Laura Latanzio has had a great day and a great season out here. And if this is upgraded, maybe, this could be very bad news for Adelaide City.
It could be. It's just, I think that's probably the end of it. I just watched back the other incident with Abachu, and it's just a bit of a jumper punch, just a little knock. But it does need to be careful. He was very agitated over that very minor free kick.
Yeah, we did say, I mean, either team would be happy to come away with this without losing, but if you lose a player, that's another thing. Not going into the game with a lead is not as much as not going into the game with a very meaningful player. So it's one thing both sides got to look out for. Croydon have already subbed one of their players on a booking, but Adelaide City picking up one on the winger here now. Be interesting to see what they do with him for the rest of this game with 10 minutes or so to go. Bucco with a win in the middle of the box. Styles, though, picks up. Kabidi spins out of danger. Tries the second time, but Styles is there to track his every move. Styles still going and is pushed over by Bucco here. And, of course, he doesn't believe the referee got the right decision there. But it will be a free kick for Croydon. Here's Slattery. Haven't seen too much of him in the second half at the moment. Left side hasn't seen too much of the ball. Here he is now, though, to put a delivery in. Too far for Trimboli. He's trying to try and spin Kylo here. But Kylo does fantastically well to manoeuvre his way out of there, and Katana does even better to get his way out of a tackle for a free kick as well in the middle of the park. It's on Martinello as well, who, again, we did say was on a booking. So, again, the referee's got to have a word with his assistants here because it might have been on the break, so I'm very surprised he probably got away with the second one there, Mark.
Yeah, he's just having a word with him. He probably just said to him, look, one more and that's it. So he's got to be very careful, as do Croydon. This is where George Sonis will earn his money, in the fact that he's got to make that decision is, does he leave him and consider taking him off and making sure that he's free for next week's second leg.
Great bit of body work there by Passia John, but the touch is
bit heavy.
We'll get a second chance here with Martinello trying to chase that ball forward, but it looks like they are warming up Santana Bartkowski on the far side, so we'll see him maybe enter the fray for Martinello if he keeps making some of those challenges in the middle of the park. Here's Abachu now, looking for Bressan. Of course, Bressan, the other representative of those last two championships with Adelaide City in 2021 and 2022, the treble year. Him and Bucco, the only two that remain from winning both of those. Abachu now chips forward, looking for Kitano. Great clearance there from first Vivian, then Martinello. Klimek leaves that. Now there's a bit of space here for Smith to open up and have a shot, and that's come off the knee, I think, of Mapor there. And led his captain to be a bit of danger on the touchline, but of course he evades it. And now they're down the line on this side. Bucco, the ball high for Karacha to deal with. really slowing this down now is Adelaide City, trying to get some of these Croydon players out of their position to maybe find the gaps. Here's Hall, who looks to try and thread that to Noah Smith, but now Passia John's on this, and again Smith's out of position. Be smart here, Passia John will try and take on Karacha. He does. Tries to find space for the cross, but Karacha was in the way. We're going to see that sub here now, Mark. It looks like Adelaide City maybe got one ready of their own. It looks like Francese is doing his stretches as well, and it is going to be Martinello, as we expected, to make way for Croydon. And Santana Barkovsky is going to come onto the park, and it looks like he might do it in the middle of the pitch as well for Croydon.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, because what they'll do now is, I dare say, they'll probably just drop Greco back into Martinello's role and push Bartkowski up into more of a 9 or a 10 role, and maybe play 2 up top. But I dare say they'll just allow Greco to drop back into Martinello's role now and pick up the ball a little bit deeper. But I still think Croydon just need to get their wide men back on the ball. That's where they had their joy in the first half, that handball.
The referee hasn't seen it, and somehow nor the assistant. But Laurie Latanzio will clear in any case, and Croydon will have to build up straight from the back now. Here's Vivian trying to chip forward for Klimek, and Smith is there.
Again, we see the two types of play that each team brings in. Adelaide City a little bit more, at times, slower and trying to keep the ball and find the openings. Croydon a little bit more happy to get the ball forward quicker, try and catch Adelaide City out. Like I said, I still think for Croydon, they need to get the wide men back involved in this game and get them on the ball more. Adelaide City, they've got to continue with the build-up, trying to keep their key players on the ball.
We are going to see this substitution now for Adelaide City, and it looks like Francese is the one to come on, and it looks like he's going to be replacing Laurie Latanzi. So again, they're being wary of those players on bookings, Mark, but it's a very different player to come on. I don't know if he's going to be playing in the attack, but he's very much more used to playing as a fullback or maybe defensive midfielder. So maybe a bit of a change up here. It looks like Kabiti's moving across. Maybe be Bressan to play on that wing. I'm not quite sure, but maybe they're playing a different formation. We'll have to
keep an eye on it.
See that pan out.
Looks like they've pushed Bressan out onto that left wing. And Francese to come in to the midfield a little bit more.
Maybe they're still moving it about. Up to Kabiti. His touch is loose. Polly strips him of it. The milestone man is driving forward, looking for an option in the middle, but the cross is a bit poor. Smith now finds Francese. Bressan turns into danger, and you're thrown on this near side.
As we approach the 90th minute, Alessio. There won't be too much time added, only the substitutions, and we did have a short stop for Margouche and for Kamau. So there won't be too much. I'd say maybe 3 minutes of time added, maybe 4 at the most.
Yeah, I saw Noah Smith talking to the assistant on this near side, asking how much longer, and I don't know if he gave him the answer to that, but I can't see it being too much more either. It's another great ball from Bressan. Looks like it'll be picked off that time by Ned Stiles, and he'll clear that onto the roof, I think. Yeah, that is correct, and I think it's gone to the far pitch as well.
No, it's eventually dropped. No, it's still on the roof. Can hear it above us. And it looks that Francese is actually just straight swap for Latanzio.
Good header there from Vivian. Slattery beaten to it by Kabiti, who spins out of the danger. Bucco, loose pass. Polly tried to go in behind to Trimboli early, but maybe the option in front of him was the better. Now Kabidi looks to overlap Gutierrez now. Gutierrez in the middle of the park gets fouled. The referee's going to pay it as well. Another stamp in the middle of the park, Mike. We've seen a couple of them today. A good spin and a trailing leg has been the downfall of both teams at the moment. And it looks like it's Croydon again in the middle of the park, giving away one late into this game.
Yeah, I thought Stars might go into the book there just because it's so late in the game and it's a needless foul. But it's to continue as is. Looks like Croydon are readying another substitution to come on. It looks like it will be Alexander Good.
Here's Bressan on this set piece first. Passio John defensively again, sound as always. Now Greco find Polly. Greco does well. Does he win a foul on the far side? I think he does. Good little bit of trickery there on the touchline as well. Not much room to deal with, but when you've got the skills that he has, he'll find his way out of it.
He did that brilliantly and drew the foul from Francesi.
Now it'll be Slattery to be replaced and Alexander Good to come onto the park. We know what he can do. We know he's the added time specialist. A couple of goals past the 90 this season, and his first goal as well was in the 74th, but that was the winner that day as well. So if there is someone to be the man for the occasion, it looks like it might be him, and they're going to put all their beans in one basket to try and get him the winner again.
Yeah, especially time added now. So there's not much time left. He's just straight swap for Slattery, which, like I said, I thought they might have made a change a little bit earlier, just considering I thought that Passio John and Slattery is starting to just tire a little bit towards the end of the game.
Another stop in play here for Booker. I'm not sure if he maybe rolled his ankle as he was trying to go up for that one. I don't think it was a foul. Referee didn't think so either, but it looks like he went down a bit gingerly there. And not sure what the retake was for that reason, but
too early. Illegal from Polly.
Good, does well to battle out. A couple of deflections, no handball. Booker now turns into danger. No foul, says the referee. Here's Bartkowski now. Try to get a ball in. He's going to stay alive. Kabidi can only clear as far as Polly. He's got time to deliver a ball. Can't be the first man again. And Croydon won't have the last chance, it seems. Karacha beaten to it. Passio John beats Smith to it and keeps driving him behind. But all day, Karacha's been there defensively more than anything today. And he's done very well to deal with the danger while Smith is out of position. Little push there from Klimek in the back. The two number 5s opposing each other.
Just enough of a nudge there, just to try and push Smith a little bit further under the ball.
And again, Klimek gets a bit too eager there on the number 5 Smith, and he will get a talking to, I think, here. But in these last couple of minutes, I'm sure he's just happy to keep this result for his side and his club, and maybe he's just trying to keep this ball out of his defensive areas.
Well, that's exactly right. It's just experience there, just delaying the game, slowing time down there at 1-1. No need to lose a goal at this stage of the game going into a second leg next week.
Deep ball, looking for Kitano, and he's lost it out there, Margush. Again, he's in the wars. I'm not sure what he's angry with there, but he's come over the top of Kitano, of course, and all possession was his, so I think he's just angry maybe if he's got one in the ribs that is quite a sore one to deal with, but otherwise he's a very courageous goalkeeper, Mark, and he's had a great game today.
He certainly has, and he certainly is a courageous keeper, that's for sure. He's come out, he's dealt with pretty much everything that they've thrown at him, and came out there and he hit Kitano, couldn't hold it, but he got the free kick in the end, and I think he's probably a little bit annoyed that his defenders let the striker get through to that point that he's had to deal with it. I think that's probably what he's more annoyed about.
Paul with one to chase back to his goalkeeper again. It's a bit short, and he'll have to go out the sidelines, Margush. But we've only got a couple minutes here left, Mark, and it'll be a dangerous time for any team to concede, and something you don't really want to do with another game next week.
Exactly, that's the thing. They'll just be happy to keep the ball away from their goal. And like I said, that's why Klimek was just holding up play, making those niggly fouls just to delay and try and stop them getting forward. Because like I said, you don't want to concede at this stage of the game going into a second leg.
Great back heel there from Bressan. Gutierrez with the ball. And Mapor can only clear again. Can't be too much longer. The referee has looked at his watch. I'm sure that means the full-time whistle will be imminent. Adelaide City, of course, are looking for an away win and a lead going into that second half. It seems like they might have the last chance here, Mark.
Just a quick update, Alessio. There's West Adelaide have taken a 1-0 lead against Campbelltown in their WNPL.
And that's the full-time whistle here as well. Mark will go with those scores around the grounds in just a second, but it's the full-time whistle here. It's 1-1 in this first leg, so it's a stalemate going into the second one with everything to play for next week at Adelaide City Park. The goals came in the early first half by Laurie Latunzio and then an equaliser by Luca Trimboli minutes later. That's all from us here at Regency Park, but we'll go through those results as you explained and see where the other results are at for next week.
The other games, West Adelaide 1-0 up with an Anna Pritchard goal over Campbelltown, which if it stays that way, they will be playing Comets in the grand final in the WNPL. And in the other HPG Homes State League 1 game, it is Salisbury and Sturt still at 0-0. So all to play for there. And you can tune into the Metro Adelaide United game tonight from 6 o'clock on the FSA League's YouTube channel, Alessio.
Of course, we've got games everywhere tonight as well. I think the other one is West Adelaide versus Fulham Men in the State League. But of course, there's other State League 2 games going on tonight as well. So make sure you tune in or head out to them. But that's all from us here. We'll join you next week for the leg 2 of this to see who will be playing in the grand final of the NPL in 2025. But that's all from us here today at Regency Park. It's been a pleasure to be joined with you again, Mark. And of course, we'll see what happens next week.
Thanks for having me.
Everyone, good night.